All right, welcome everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing why you certainly want to keep an eye on your mailbox if you are a Social Security beneficiary, including but not limited to retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, spousal, and SSI. That's the focus of the video. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. All right, now what I'm referring to here in this video is $23 billion across millions upon millions of Social Security beneficiaries, and you certainly want to know about this because Social Security is reaching out to millions of beneficiaries each year, and a couple months ago they announced some major changes to this, which is good for the beneficiaries, but at the end of the day, it is still your money, your benefits, and the amount of money you're receiving on a monthly basis. Exactly why I want to bring this to your attention and why you still want to watch for this, again, in your mailbox and communications. So with that being said, let's get into it and talk through the details. I'll explain everything that's going on here and what you need to be aware of. However, really fast before we get into it, can I ask a huge favor of you? If you have not done so yet, will you please make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so. I'm here for you every single day, watching the headlines, doing all the research, advocating on your behalf, answering your questions, doing anything I possibly can to help you out right now. I totally get it. Low income, fixed income, it's a rough time out there. I see all the stories down below. I see the comments. I see the concerns. I read the reports. It's a lot of things that are going on right now. It's a sad situation. Low income and fixed income are really struggling right now financially and have been for the last couple of years, and realistically, it's just getting worse. It's a bad situation. So anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I'm watching all the details of everything going on out there. There's a lot of things that are happening and a lot of major changes as of recently as well. And again, just want to do what I can for you. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and feel free to share this video with your friends on my social media, again with the share button right down below. All right, thank you so much for watching. Let's get into it and talk about the details of this $23 billion, the changes Social Security recently announced a couple months ago, what this means for the beneficiaries, and what you need to know going forward, as well as what you want to watch for as well from Social Security. All right, so a lot of moving parts here. So first off, remember, a couple months ago, in fact, I talked about this quite a bit. I held a couple live streams at that time. I had a couple videos talking about this, and again, some major changes about this. This is actually a really good thing. But this $23 billion that Social Security has on their books right now, is that money to go out to the beneficiaries, or is that money to be collected from beneficiaries? Not a trick question, I'll tell you. It's to be collected from Social Security beneficiaries in overpayments that have occurred over the last several years here. So this is very concerning, but based on the changes that Social Security announced a couple months ago, they've actually made some positive changes to it. So let me explain really quickly. And again, you probably already know this because I did, like I said, I had some videos about this. I had a couple live streams talking about this, and I think it clarified this pretty well, but let me just say it again. So the previous rule was Social Security, if they overpaid somebody by, X dollars, they could technically garnish 100% of their check until all of that overpayment was recouped. That's bad. That's really bad. That's a tough situation, right? Well then, over the last, call it, year or so, there's been this massive investigation going on about this, and it's been in the headlines a ton. So the change that Social Security announced is that they would recover a maximum of 10% or $10, whatever is greater, when it comes to recouping these overpayments to beneficiaries. The problem is, Social Security is still sitting on $23 billion of overpayments that have gone out to beneficiaries. However, rather than garnishing 100% of the beneficiary's money for an X period of time to get all that money back, now they can only take 10% or $10, again, whatever is greater. So that is going to take a lot longer, and the financial impact to the beneficiaries is going to be way less significant. Because if you think about it, rather than having 100% of your benefit taken away, now they're only going to be able to take up to 10%, or again, like I said, up to that $10 threshold at a time. So again, that's what it comes down to. Now, here's the problem going forward. Is Social Security, according to the most recent statistics and the reports I've been finding on this, is that they are still sending out about 2 million of these overpayment letters a year based on most recent announcements about this. So again, that's still a lot of people that are still receiving these overpayment letters. However, the impact and again, the recovery of this money is not nearly as bad as it was prior to this announcement out of Social Security a couple months ago. So my point is, there's a lot of people out there that are still receiving overpayments and they don't even know it. That's the problem with this whole situation, is that a lot of these overpayments go on for years and years and years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or even more in some instances before they're even caught And then as a result, they think, oh, wow, we've been overpaying for all of these years. We have all these thousands upon thousands of dollars that have racked up over this time. And now it's time to send out this overpayment letter, right? So that is what's going on here. And again, we might all think that, oh no, our benefits are fine and our benefits are totally good and we're not worried about an overpayment. We don't know that. That's the problem, right? A lot of people, the beneficiary as well as the Social Security Administration, don't know that beneficiaries are being overpaid until it is uncovered at some point, right? And again, it's not like the beneficiary is doing something malicious or Social Security is doing something wrong either. It's just for some reason there was something that may not have been reported accurately or maybe a miscalculation or whatever it happens to be. There's a variety of different reasons why somebody might be overpaid, but then all of a sudden it's uncovered at some point in the future, and then they think, uh-oh, this is a bad situation, and that's when these overpayment letters go out. So again, the announcements that came out of Social Security a couple months ago are positive for the beneficiary. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. If you get an overpayment letter, that's still not a good situation, right? They will still want and, they'll still want and need to get some of that money back, but it's far worse than what it was months ago prior to this announcement. Does that kind of make sense? So again, it could have been 100%. Just think, if somebody was overpaid by, say, I don't know, $5,000, for example, and they get a $500 monthly check, basically with the old rule, they could have taken away 100% of that benefit until that $5,000 was recovered. That would have taken a long time, right? But in this case, now they're not going to take nearly that much away at any time. Again, the recovery is going to be significantly less, okay? So this is what I'm saying here is we just got to continue watching and be very vigilant on this and be very diligent with the information that we're receiving. Again, if you ever receive a letter from Social Security, a lot of times the initial instinct is like, I don't really know if I want to open this thing, right? If you've ever received communication from Social Security, a lot of times we don't get much, right? Maybe a couple pieces of letters in the mail a couple times a year. That's about it. For the most part, we don't really get a whole lot of communication from them. But if you just get a one-off letter sometime randomly in the middle of the year, it's like, I can't even imagine what this is going to be, right? I don't want to open this thing, right? So anyway, this is what it comes down to, and we'll see if they make any further changes on this. But remember as well, you can always file an appeal, and you can have this waiver that you can also file to basically say, hey, I don't have the money. I can't afford to pay this back, and you can file these things. In some cases, they may, they may grant your waiver that says, okay, you can't afford it, we'll waive this. Or sometimes if you have an appeal that has been filed as well, maybe sometimes they'll grant that. Again, no promises whatsoever, but that is an option that is out there. So if you receive one of these letters, you do have a couple of different options that you can take, but this is what I want to bring to your attention. Again, these letters are still going out according to the research that I'm finding here and everything, but again, the penalty and the recovery of this money is not nearly as severe as it was. But again, yeah, it still does mean that some money is going out of the pockets of beneficiaries and going back to Social Security, basically as the adjustment to benefits, right? So anyway, I just want to bring this to your attention. Again, something we got to continue watching here, and why this is very important for the beneficiaries. And again, I just cross my fingers that you'd never get an overpayment letter. Let's just hope that's the case for everybody, that you never receive this communication. But again, unfortunately, that's not being realistic. There's a lot of people that are still getting these. So anyway, hope this helps you. Again, just want to point this out for you really quickly. If you ever receive something like this, first thing I guess I would do is maybe call Social Security and just say, hey, can you authenticate? Is this real? Because again, there's a lot of different weird things going on right now, phishing attempts and stuff like that to get your personal information, which by the way, Social Security is not going to text you. They're not going to email you. They're not going to call you, right, for the most part. In some very, very, very rare instances, Social Security might call. But other than that, for the most part, no, they're not going to call you, right? They will send you letters. That's about all they do, right? So anyway, just want to point that out for you really fast here. Just got to stay safe with all your personal information. So anyway, hope this helps. Again, as always, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Totally free to do so. Share the video with the share button right down below as well with your friends on my social media. Go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel, including those in the video library or those that I've hand selected for you down below in the description at the top of the comment section. Right there's a bunch I put down there for you. Otherwise, right now on your screen, you'll see some videos popping up as well. So again, make sure you take your selection now as far as which video you want to check out next. And thanks so much for joining me. Truly appreciate it. Have a nice day. Take care. And I'll catch you again later in just a second here when you choose that next video. All right. Thank you so much.